my name is Hannah and welcome back to my channel. So it is February 29th, the last day of February, and we all know what that means. It's time for a wrap up. I always look forward to filming these videos because I like to just kind of look back on the month and see all the books that I read and the thoughts that I had with them. We are going to start with some analytics. I read 2,126 pages. I read 4 physical books and 2 Kindle books and 0 audiobooks. I read 2 books on my TBR this month, and that was Survive the Night and 0 Days. 0 Days wasn't in the video because that book came on my TBR a little later. My library does a little book club, and that was this month's pick. So obviously it was added to my TBR. So I read 2 books on my TBR this month, so we're headed in the right direction. So the first book I read this month was King of Wrath by Anna Huang, and I loved it. I rated this a 4-star. It was so good. It was so good. So the tropes that we have in this: billionaire, arranged marriage, forced proximity, dislike to lovers, and the 1-bed trope. Oh my goodness. I ate this up. I really did. I ate this up. So I like the way it's paced. It's not insta-lovey, but it's also not long and drawn out, because realistically, when you are living with someone and you're attracted to that someone, feelings are going to start to grow, and it's not going to be a slow thing. And I like that we were able to see the progression of that rather than just been told, you know? We actually got to see them go from dislike to I kind of like her to we're in love. So we got to see the progression instead of just being told. So I really like that. So basically we have 2 families. Both of them are billionaire. One family blackmails the other person into marrying our female main character, and things just kind of start from there. That's all I'm gonna say. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend. And it was a little spicy, but it wasn't too bad. It was not too bad. The next book I read was Daisy Darker, and I rated this a 2.75 star because I liked it. There were parts about it that I did like and that I enjoyed, but there were other parts where I was just like, no. Unfortunately, this book just was not for me. I didn't really like the flashbacks. I just got really bored with them. But after finishing the book, I realized that we did need some of the flashbacks. We just didn't need as many as we got, and they didn't need to go as far back in the past as they went, if that makes any sense. Overall, I really enjoyed like the mystery element of it and the mystery thriller parts, but I just did not enjoy the flashbacks at all. It was just a slower pace than I would have liked for a mystery thriller, and I really feel like that had an effect on my rating. But it did keep me somewhat interested. That's why I didn't DNF it, and that's also why it's not a 1 or 2 star, but it's also not a 3 star. So I just kind of put it right there, 2.75. I feel like that's fair for me. I do still recommend it because, like I said, I was interested in parts, but other parts I was not. But I still recommend. I recommend. It's about this family reunion that takes place in a lighthouse. When the tide comes in, everyone is kind of trapped inside the lighthouse. No one can come and go. And so people start dying. So we follow our main character while she tries to figure out what is going on. So the next book I read this month was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This was actually a reread. So I don't really have many thoughts other than I saw things and I realized things the second time that I didn't realize and see the first time, if that makes sense. But I enjoyed this. I am currently reading A Court of Mist and Fury for the very first time, and I'm loving it. So the next book I read this month was If You Were Mine by Melanie Harlow. I really like this. It was really cute. It's fake dating, date for hire. It was very cute, but way too smutty. Way too smutty. Like every time the characters finally admitted that they had feelings for each other, every time our characters were together, there was a smut scene. And I'm like, it gets repetitive and it gets annoying because you want to see dialogue between the characters and you want to see their relationship grow in more than just a physical manner. You know what I mean? I didn't love the third act breakup. I thought it was stupid and a little bit repetitive with what was already discussed between our two characters before this. I loved that the ending wasn't rushed. Like, we didn't rush into the ending and rush into everything. It was very thought out and planned out. You could really tell that Melanie took her time with the ending, and I appreciate that so much, so much. Overall, I really enjoyed it, and I do recommend. I just warn you that it is super smutty. So the next book I read this month was Survive the Night by Riley Sager, which is also my favorite book of the month, just saying. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I rated it a 3.5 star and I loved it. I was not expecting a romance. I think this is the first mystery thriller that had a romance in it. Unexpected, but I'm here for it. I absolutely loved it, loved it. So basically, after our main character's best friend / college roommate is murdered, she decides she needs to get away. So when she's offered a ride from a handsome stranger who could possibly be a serial killer, what could go wrong? Apparently everything. So I really loved it. It was such a wild ride, so many twists and turns. When you think you know which direction it's taking and you know what's gonna happen, it doesn't happen, and you're like, what? The last book I read this month was 0 Days by Ruth Ware. This was my library's book club of the month. Book club book of the month, and wow. I rated this a 3 star. It was a wild ride. Twists and turns, which with any kind of mystery thriller, there's gonna be twists and turns, obviously. But I loved how it ended. I really did. It really, truly had a happy ending, and I love that for our main character. Really, I wasn't sure who to trust. I was like, it's this person. And then I was like, wait, maybe it's this person. Maybe it's this. Completely wrong. I really liked this. So basically, our main character's husband is murdered and she is being framed for it. So we follow her as she tries to solve her husband's murder while simultaneously trying to avoid the police because they are after her. So again, wild ride, loved it. I don't necessarily, I can't talk. Looks like it's gonna rain. I'm getting distracted. What was I saying? Oh, I didn't necessarily love like the big reveal of why the husband was murdered. That wasn't my favorite, but overall I enjoyed this book and highly recommend, and I do want to read some other Ruth Ware books as well. So that is going to be all for today's video. I hope that I was able to give you some good recommendations. And if you read any of these books this month, let me know what you thought. Let's chit chat a while. Let's chit chat. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out so much, and I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!